Hey friends, welcome back to the Digital Ramble Season 4, Episode 26. And as always, I'm joined with my co-host Chris Gamble from the UK in Customize. How are you, my friend?
Hey JJ, I'm very well. I had a good weekend. I hope you did too.
It was amazing. It was a really nice weekend. The kids are finally out for summer, so we sent our oldest daughter off to camp last night, and our younger daughter is going out to the farm with my mom and dad, and so Mom and we get some quiet time this week. Yeah, summer is in full swing.
Well, you've earned a break. You've earned a break, and it's the start of the summer, and for us, it's the start of season 4. This is a new series for us, and we introduced it last week, but season 4 is all about you, the listener and the viewer, asking, as the home tech experts, your smart home questions.
Yeah, man. And last episode, if you didn't catch it, it was our season finale on smart spaces, focusing on outside, episode 25. If you didn't catch it, take a listen to it. It was a great episode, and we also posed the question of ask us some questions. Gamble and I, we've both been in the business for quite some time. I've owned and operated Digital Delight for this month, Gamble, 20 years. This month I've been in business for 20 years. So it's a big deal for us. And we've seen all different types of technology come and go throughout homes and small businesses over the years, and excited about these questions that we're getting from our listeners.
Yeah, and then for Customize, myself, I've been involved in the smart home industry for over 10 years, and prior to that worked in commercial communications and networking, and we've been right at the front line of smart home, I would say hardcore, for 5, 6, 7 years of just relentless smart home installation, and just see no slowdown. The demand for smart home is an all-time high and is only going to increase. And so we're both well placed to answer your questions. So we thought we'd open up the messaging platforms, we'd open up the comments for questions from you, the listener, you, the viewer. We've had a few. We've had 6 questions that we picked out for this week, and we're going to get right into that. So episode 26, let's go, JJ.
Hey, Gamble, one thing that I always like to mention at the first of our show is our Patreons and all the Patreons that contribute to us on a monthly basis. Thank you, Patreons. And if you'd like to support the show, please head on over to patreon.com/The Digital Ramble and check us out over there. And for as little as $1 a month, you can help move this show along. So thank you for all our Patreons.
Sure, big thank you there. Now, both of our businesses individually, we both get asked lots of questions on social media. We get asked questions face to face when we were in customers' homes or we're at networking events. I get asked smart home questions when I'm going to get a pint of milk from the shop. Oh, you're the smart home guy that's got the office in the town. Tell me, what should I buy? What thermostat? So as a smart home expert, we both get asked questions all the time because there is consumer interest in smart home, but they have questions. And so series 4 is all about answering those questions, but we need those questions from you, the viewer and the listener.
So type them down there in the comments. Get busy clicking, click away, and drop us a comment down below. And as this season continues, we're going to continue answering these questions. So please definitely drop those comments down below. We'll be fielding those. And also you can do that on our Facebook page and just drop us a message there. On Instagram, drop us a DM. So, one of the biggest questions that we get is, will it be cheaper if I buy all of my own equipment and just hire a professional to come in and install it? And the answer is kind of both sides. I mean, you kind of have to straddle the line on that question, and it's a fantastic question. My good friend Sim over in Colorado asked that and posed that question. And in some aspects, yes, you can find maybe cheaper equipment online, but do you really know what you're buying? I mean, do you know where it's sourced from? Do you know who to go to if there happens to be a challenge with that particular product? It really could hold up the entire process in the sense that you're collecting all this gear, you got everybody scheduled, your internet service provider scheduled, you got your smart home professional scheduled to come in, and we're ready to do the job. And the product that you have purchased does not work together. I mean, there's different languages that smart home technology communicates on, and if you really don't know the different products that work together, it could cost you more in the long run. Having to reschedule your own personal schedule, having to reschedule and pay for the time that was allotted for that particular day, but then the comeback time for whenever that correct product is brought into the house could actually on the back end cost you more. So that's why I say you got to kind of straddle that line in answering that particular question, is because you really want to have a smart home professional design that system, provide that system. If there happens to be a challenge, you have somebody to call and communicate with that can get you, the right equipment on the front side for you. And it takes a lot of that pain out of the equation.
Yeah, and I would just to add a small amount there, just say if you're buying the equipment yourself, make sure you've bought the right thing. There's so many variants, different model numbers, different features. Make sure the product you're buying is the one that was decided with the Home Tech Pro, or it's the one that is exactly the one that you may have read about or heard about. So make sure, double check, triple check, is it the right box that I bought?
Yeah, absolutely. And then you kind of have to get educated on which boxes to buy. So that's a big one for sure.
Okay, so coming back over to the UK, I've reached out to some of my audience and had a great question from Bruce. He's a self-builder, which is somebody who's building their own home. He's based in Devon in the southwest of England. And he's asked, what are his smart lighting options for his new build house, and can he afford it? And I have answered this when I got the question, because I wanted to get back to him immediately on Instagram. But because he's doing a new construction project, Bruce has every choice available to him. He's doing a new construction property. He's able to pick and choose whatever brand he likes. He's not confined by the wiring of an existing property. He's not confined by lighting fixtures being in certain positions, that he's maybe confined to types of bulbs or lamps, things like that. Bruce has every option available. So I've said to Bruce to look at some of the industry leading or the class leading devices. And I've told him to go look at Lutron Ratu Select, which is a system for me that blends affordability, reliability, ease of use, and expansion. So I know, as somebody who also built a home in the past, budgets get squeezed, and tech is one of those things that often gets chopped to still allow them to buy the tiles, the kitchens, the bathroom hardware, the furniture, the stairs, all the things you need to build a house. And tech is an easy one to cut. So if you choose products like Lutron Ratu Select that can be put into one room, then added to a second, a third, a fourth room, that's a far more sensible choice than having a decision made on a whole house system that's either all in or nothing. And for me, there's choices that people make that they kind of end up tied into this smart home lighting system that they can't break out of. There's no modular method to the installation. It's all or nothing. So whether it's new build or any build, look for something that can be expanded room by room with smart lighting, because there are systems that allow you to do that.
Yeah, Bruce, thanks for your question. And absolutely, with lighting control in particular, it's completely expandable. And so it can meet your budget that you have available now or remaining now, and then as those resources loosen up, you can always expand upon that lighting control system. Traditionally, and if you listen to our past episodes, we like starting from the outside and working our way in. Start with security first, and then move on to mood and entertainment on the inside of that house. One of the things that we hear a lot, Gamble, is that everything's going wireless. Why do I need to run wire in my house? I mean, if it's all wireless, do I really still need to run Cat 5, Cat 6 in my house? And Noel over in Illinois dropped this question to us. And Noel, thank you. And so, yes, you do still need that wire, particularly in certain strategic locations in your home. Particularly planning for Wi-Fi. You can heat map an area to see where you might need to place those access points strategically in your home so that you have good coverage throughout your house. Another thing that you need to wire for is cameras. Cameras is one option that you need to definitely hardwire for, and it might not only be Cat 6, it might be RG59 with a power wire, just depending on what kind of camera system that you want to use inside your home. So yes, Cat 5, Cat 6 for access points, for cameras, for your whole entertainment area. A lot of people are cutting that cord, and they want to stream everything, or you have gamers in the house and they want quick access to quick reaction time. And in order to do that correctly, you have to have a solid network, and hardwiring is your fastest way of accessing and responding to whatever you might be gaming or playing with or trying to stream. And so, yes, highly encourage still running wire in your house. Not as much wire is necessary, but yeah, you definitely need to strategize and getting wire in your house. What do you think, Gamble?
I think there's a lot of value for anyone that's planning a project in their home is to work with a home tech pro to come up with a wiring scheme, a wiring plan, so that they have thought about the demands for the current tech that's needed today. There's a little bit of wiring for the future. It may be that it's the same wires, but it's a different specification of wire that's able to carry higher amounts of data. We're going into an era soon of 8K video. Is your home capable of carrying that kind of amount of data from the incoming devices, services, delivering that to the TVs and the screens and projectors and things like that? So working with a pro for what is really just a small amount of labor, our designs are very cost effective. For a typical new build or refurbishment project, a design could be £700, £800, £900. It's just my time and my knowledge putting it down on paper for your project, and your electrician, the guy that's running, the girl that's running the cables in your home, follow that plan, put the cables in the right place so that you're future ready in that building.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say for sure you need to run some wire, but communicate, like you said, Gamble. Get yourself a home tech professional.
Yeah, and one of the nice sentences I always like is wire for Wi-Fi. I always like that one. It baffles people a little bit, but yeah, wire for wireless.
Yeah.
So hopping back over now, not quite all the way to my part of the UK, but another part of the UK, Northern Ireland. We've got a listener and viewer, Brian, who again got in touch with us on Instagram. It's probably the best way to get a quick response from Customized. They are a home tech enthusiast, and they run through some of the tech they've got. And actually, I've looked at some of his pictures. He's got the smart light bulbs. He's got really nice TV, good entertainment system. But for all that, he relies on a very robust Wi-Fi system. And Brian said he followed our posts for a while, and he bought himself one of these Amplify routers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And he finds it fantastic. He loves the features of it. But what he wants to do is expand that system. He wants to provide the wireless coverage in other parts of the home. So his question is very simple. Can he expand his Amplify router with the new Amplify instant access points, which are these little kind of like a third of the size of the router. This is a router as well, but primarily its job is an access point. You can expand your Amplify system with the instant. They will work together.
And you can use multiples of those.
You can have dozens of these, dozens
throughout the inside and outside of your property, and sometimes people rather go with that because of the look. Amplify has these cool little mesh points that you can stick into an electrical outlet, but sometimes people don't like that visual look of it. They want to hide it and put it away in a cabinet.
Yeah, but yeah, Amplify does work with the instant range of products. So, Brian, if hopefully that answers your questions.
Yeah. And I had another listener touch base with us throughout the week, Chad. And Chad, I'm sorry, I don't know where you're out of, but he's an installer. So some of our other questions were actually from consumers, but he was an installer, and he dropped me a question. He's like, "It's a cheap job. Can you just do it for $50?" And we get that question as well, in the sense of the value that a home technology pro brings, to that experience, and what might seem to take a home technology pro only an hour to do a job took years of experience to get it down to an hour. So what might take a traditional DIYer an entire day to do the job, that's if it is deployed correctly and maximized and actually understood. We're able to boil that down into a greatly reduced amount of time, but provide that understanding and as well as provide that confidence that it was installed correctly and maximized for your area. And so, can you do it for $50? Probably, if we're on site and you say, "Hey, I had this other box, can you install it for me?" Yeah, probably $50 to get it done. But if it's a cold call and you have a box that needs to be installed, a lot of the times that $50 will not do it. I mean, it doesn't justify a home technology professional. It can't make a living off of $50. Doing loading up the truck, getting your team prepared, the fuel to get out there. I mean, sometimes that trip here in Texas or in Houston alone, one way is 30, 45 minutes. And then to get to the home, to analyze, to understand what that problem might be, and then to take it out of the box, to deploy it, to get all the subscriptions set up, to update the firmware, to maximize its performance. Because it could be connecting to the lights, it could be connecting to the irrigation, you might be putting it into your remote control system. And so, can it be done for $50? Maybe is again the answer. A cold call roller truck out for $50? Probably not. Probably not going to happen.
No, and we've said to customers, if with things like that we would, if we're in the area, there could be a saving there. So if we're nearby, we can do it after we've finished that project and we can call in. That's really the best kind of saving option. Can you hear that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can I hear that? You hear that, Mike? Oh, what is that? Do y'all hear that, listeners?
That's the $50 alarm. Can't go lower than that. Can't go lower.
You just get a single tone. There's no whoop whoop whoop. I don't think we have mic feedback. Mike, is this mic on over here? I don't think so. Okay. So yeah, $50. Can it be done? Maybe. If we're on site already and something's added that was outside that scope, then yeah, $50. We had
carry on.
Yeah, we had Mitland in Idaho. Thank you for dropping a comment down below. And he gets this question. He's also an installer, and he gets this question a lot, and so do we. I don't need anything high tech. We just want simple. And in order to do simple, sometimes it high tech. It takes high tech to do something that is quite simple, in the sense of setting up schedules and setting up motions and things for triggers to trigger lights and things like that. And so, although the word high tech might be used, it doesn't mean that it's hard or it's complicated. It very well could be simple. And so don't let that word high tech scare you off, and that high tech is going to be complicated. It could be. It depends. It depends on the design that you're needing and requesting.
One of my favorite things is to make things simple. One device we put in that really simplifies things is when we put in an all-in-one remote control.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, why do I need this? It looks so complicated. But when you're faced with 4 or 5 remote controls for DVD player, set-top box, TV, games controller, media streamer, all on the arm of your armchair.
Yeah, and each remote has like 25 buttons. I mean, 25 times 5, that's a lot of stinking buttons.
So that is high tech, but it's simple. It's brought simplicity. It's removed pain and frustration and that is what the best technology brings. It brings a bit of relief. It brings simplicity and efficiency to your home. Another one I like is the Nest thermostat behind me. How simple it is to program and schedule your heating and get the best out of the climate and the best from the temperature in your building, and it learns your comings and goings. It's high tech, but it's simpler than what you had before.
Right. I love going into clients' homes after they've lived with high tech in their home, and then they go and build a new home, or they buy a new home, and they don't really think that they want to tech it out again. Sometimes you have those clients that are like, I don't know if I need it. And then they realize, oh my gosh, I actually really relied on that lighting control system. Or we actually did use that whole house audio system in this house, or in our house a lot. And I miss it. And although it's high tech, it's behind the scenes. That high tech aspect is behind the scenes to make things a lot simpler, and you wind up gravitating towards it after you use it. Lighting control is my biggest example, especially when you have large homes and you can use a single button to control the entire lighting scheme of your house. It's high tech, but man, it certainly does make it simple. And so high tech is just a word. Don't let it scare you away, because technology does make life and management simple.
So 6 questions answered by the Digital Ramble. We want more questions from you guys and girls. Next week, we'll be doing more questions. So direct messages, comments, emails, digitalramble@gmail.com. Get through to us and we will answer your questions. Leave your names and where you're from so we can give you a shout out. Going back to the usual script, it was Gamble Ramble last week. We're going to go with some cannon fire. You got something for us, JJ?
I think I do. Mike, he's quick on the guns, man. Last week he just shot all over your intro, and today he's blasting all over my intro. He's just real trigger happy over there. He's got the. It's all right. I think everybody knows the show by now. Yeah, so this week's Cannon Fire is about taking the high road, from an installer's perspective. Sometimes, you'll get into a situation with maybe another installer or a distributor, or possibly with a homeowner or a business. And I've always found that taking the high road eases things in the long run. And so whenever tensions might get high, or misunderstandings might happen, and sometimes they do, especially in technology, we have no control over ones and zeros sometimes, and that's the other thing about hiring a professional that has that understanding of how technology works, because it's not easy trying to get these things to communicate together, and sometimes not easy might cause concern for the other party, causing tensions to flare. And I just want to stress that taking the high road can quickly dampen those tensions, but also allows you to clearly express exactly what you're trying to accomplish. Instead of getting all bubbled up with frustration and firing back with, fire breathing vocabulary, that just don't work. Fire and fire just makes more fire. So sometimes it's not sometimes, always take the high road. Be communicative, stay calm, be clear, and hopefully that calms calms a storm that might happen, and they happen. 20 years of experience of doing business, I've had a couple of fires, and I've always found that taking the high road is definitely the better way to squash challenges that might occur. Fire the cannon. Gamble, give me your feedback.
That's a good one. That's a good one, because it is something you've got to learn. For people that are listening that are business owners, and we do have that kind of people in our audience that are in our industry, is something you're just going to have to learn. There's so much friction in projects, and there might not be a right fit between provider and client, and it's tough, and there's a lot of tension, and you've got to get to the finish line. But in the early stages, at the very early stages, if things aren't starting off well, there might be a moment where you can pull on that handbrake and say, before we commit to each other here, I just don't think this is going to work, and you've got to be bold and stand up for that, because it's you might not be a good fit for them, or they might not be a good fit for you. So you've just got to be honest with them, rather than enter into weeks, months, years of pain with each other,
Yeah, absolutely. So, Gamble, another great episode 26. And, we're going to continue this Q&A, like we stated, into episode 27, and continue to field questions and try to put some good answers out there. And also, we have a lot of dealers out there as well that listen to the show. And if you got a good answer to a tough question, brother, sister, throw it down in the comments. We want to hear from you, and we want to let our audience know what some of those they might have that same question and not have an answer for it. And definitely we can enlighten and help with those tough questions.
Yeah, so you can ask a question to the show. Hit us up on the direct message on Instagram, leave comments, or send us a message on Facebook. Send us a tweet. We're also on Twitter, and drop us an email as well. What's our email address, JJ? Because I always get this one wrong.
It's thedigitalramble@gmail.com.
Okay, I'm sure that's wrong, but
no, I think it is. Oh, no, you might know. I think you're right. It's Digital Ramble Show.
That's right.
At gmail.com. Oh,
well done.
Mike, we're going to put that up on the screen next week.
And just anyone on the questions, please, even if it's a simple question like the one we did on this, does this work with the other box? Yes. These are simple questions, but you need to answer it, and we can answer it for you. So, JJ, it's been great to hang out with you again. Looking forward to episode 27 already.
It's been wonderful, Gamble. Great to see you again. Thank you, friends, for joining us. Please like, share, subscribe, and until next week, y'all have a fantastic week. Every month, the Digital Ramble will receive a regular source of income from supporters who've pledged through Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, having your ongoing support means we spend less time thinking about business and more time creating quality content for you.
Customized, based in Norfolk, England, are proud sponsors of the Digital Ramble. Check out our all set up services. It's smart home installation with ease. Customize.uk.com.
If you're looking to make your basic home smart, check out digitaldelight.com/shop, where they have a variety of different smart home technology solutions that help make smart home shopping easy for you. Check out digitaldelight.com/shop.